I'm Frankie Milley, and we're here today as part of a national ongoing meeting to collect public opinion on whether or not to immunize infants against meningococcal disease. I also am honored to sit on the national committee for this purpose. We have had 4 meetings. This is the 4th one and the last one. I can tell you out of those 4 meetings, these are the things that we need to remember as we look at this vaccine. First of all, a recommendation for a vaccine does not mean a mandate. It means that all children, no matter economic status, whether they have insurance, whether they don't, they have access to that vaccine. It means that all physicians are educated on that vaccine and its availability so that when that parent can go into that office and say, I want my child to be vaccinated, that doctor is aware that there is a vaccine and he can give it. It's safe and effective. We also need to remember that ACIP has never made an opinion based on economics, and they shouldn't this time. If you look and you say we can prevent 40% of the cases of meningococcal in infants, if you have a ship and it has 100 people on and you have 40 life vests, do you let all of those people go down with that ship, or do you save those 40? We can never put a price on the cost of a human life. All of us here today have experienced great loss. And before our children died, some of them suffered greatly. Ryan had blood coming from every orifice of his body in 14 hours. Yesenia's baby lost all 4 limbs and her face fell off. And not until someone walked by the ICU and screamed did she decide to take her off of life support. Our children weren't in college dorms. Meningitis does not stop at the college dorm. 35% of the cases in this country is in infants. We have to move forward. We've done the right thing for adolescents. We've done the right thing for young adults. It's time that we do the right thing for infants and children. You simply have to look at the outbreak in Ooltewah, Oklahoma last year, where 6 first graders were affected by this disease. Within 48 hours, 2 of them died. One of them lost all 4 limbs and his face. He's now going through reconstructive surgery. He is one of our kids that we help and support. No child, no infant, no adult should die from a vaccine-preventable disease in this country. Not ever.
Good afternoon. My name is Margaret Huffman. It's Huffman. I'm a nursing doctorate with the Colorado Immunization Program. We are so pleased and glad to have this conversation happening here in Colorado today. And we're really appreciating all the thoughtful discourse that's going into this situation, and especially on the heels of what had happened in Colorado last year, where we had such a significant meningococcal disease outbreak in our state. So it hits really close to home to have us be able to have this thoughtful conversation at this point, at this time, as we're going back and reflecting on here we are a year later, and where are we with the vaccine and the recommendations. And as Frankie pointed out, we just fully support access for all for the vaccines that are recommended.
Sherelle Spolma, and I am a mom of a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I lost my sister, Sierra, to bacterial meningitis 4 years ago. And after that day, our lives have been changed forever. She wasn't only my little sister, but my best friend, and I miss her more than words can say. After watching Sierra go from a healthy, energetic, beautiful girl to being on a ventilator fighting for her life, all within 24 hours, and then later finding out that she had died from a vaccine-preventable disease, is absolutely heartbreaking. I will do everything in my power to protect my kids and everyone that I know by encouraging them to get vaccinated. Please get your loved ones vaccinated.
Hi, my name is Jen Stanton, and I am the mother of twin daughters, Emma, who is 3 years old, and Mary, who died when she was 7.5 months old from bacterial meningitis. Mary was a happy, healthy little baby girl one day, and then within hours, she came down with symptoms that the doctors didn't recognize. We went to the doctor in emergency room 3 different times and were sent home, telling us it was just a cold or the flu and that she would get better. By the time they diagnosed her with meningitis, it was too late. We got Flight for Life lifted to Denver Children's Hospital, where she lived for 18 days. She had seizures, she had strokes, she had a tube coming out of her head, draining the fluid off of her brain. She was on a feeding tube, a breathing tube. She couldn't go to the bathroom on her own, and I had to sit there and watch my baby die. Well, our family knows the devastation of meningitis. If you have the power to educate yourself, educate your pediatrician on vaccines that could help save your children so that you don't have to go through what we've been through.
We just have to remember that without recommendations, then vaccines for children doesn't cover it possibly, and insurance companies do not cover the vaccines. That means that many, many millions of children will be left unprotected from this disease. I'm begging everyone to please go to our website at www.protectinfantsnow.org and sign our petition asking the CDC to recommend this vaccine. It will be the most important thing you ever do in your life. Don't let what happened to all of us happen to other children out there. We need your help. If there's anybody that has any questions they would like to ask. The recommendation for meningococcal vaccine is from 11 to 18. Just change the recommendation to for college freshmen. Even though there's a little bit higher risk for college freshmen living in dorms, all college freshmen are to be immunized now. And so currently we have laws, mandates across the state, our country, that require those for middle school entry and college entry. But yes, right now we're looking at possibly 3 vaccines. 2 of them are still at FDA, not yet approved. But over the next year, we hope that they will be, and we hope that there will be a full recommendation with vaccine for children approval as well.
And all of those implications as far as physicians' practices, the discussion that we've been having today and around the country as part of these 4 forums that CDC has been bringing to the country over the last 6 weeks, I believe. It started in New Hampshire, then there was one in Seattle, one in Chicago last week, and now in Denver. Then they'll take this back. This is not exactly a scientific sample, but this is just what's the discussion? What does the implication mean to everybody, to the folks here in this room, to the people over at the other larger meeting? And that's where I was saying I'm very grateful that we've had a chance to be part of that thoughtful discussion, to listen to the scientific evidence as well as the very real impact of this illness.
And I can honestly say, as a national stakeholder and being in Washington earlier this year and then attending all 4 of the meetings, so far the percentage of those at the meetings have voted to recommend the vaccine fully. So that's huge, and I'm really excited. We've even seen parents that were maybe a little resistant to vaccine vote yes to recommend this vaccine because it is such a deadly disease. Maybe it is rare, but 1 child is too many to be lost. 1 infant is too many. If we can save 1 infant, that's what we have to do. The CDC has always made great decisions when it comes to vaccinating our children and preventing deadly disease. Always. I commend them. I attend every ACIP meeting when those decisions are made. And I know in my heart, at the end of the day, after this is all over with, they're going to do the right thing this time, and that's to recommend this vaccine for infants. Coming here today and giving us an opportunity to have our voices heard. And again, we encourage everyone to go to protectinfantsnow.org and sign our petition and educate yourself on this disease and the case studies and everything. And remember, when you're talking about case and economics, you're not talking about just percentages, cases, and economics. You're talking about human life. 1 is too many. Thank you very much.